In this video, we will discuss the comedy of errors. That was the duel between Miguna Miguna and retired Colonel Oguna, the government spokesman. Trust me, it was hilarious. But first, a heads up. The latest weekly intelligence briefings, number 26, is out. And here is a sneak preview. Enjoy! Last night, the 8th of January 2020, a vast majority of Kenyans were glued to Citizen TV and to the JKL show, Jeff Koinange Live, where controversial lawyer Miguna Miguna was being interviewed. And oh my, if I can quote Jeff himself, what a show it was. It was a show that I consider a comedy. Plenty of laughs. Indeed, I can't remember the last time I laughed so hard. And I'm serious. You know, it is human nature sometimes to laugh, to hide shame. Because if you don't laugh, there's a very huge danger that actually you're going to break down into tears. Yani, mtu mzima analia kama mtoto. Yes, grown men sometimes cry. And a lot of Kenyans today, I'm sure, and even last night, felt a lot of shame, enough to cry. Yani, tumeaibishwa. We are a laughing stock of the world. You can imagine what those Mzungus are thinking of these black Africans. You can imagine, what the whole world is thinking about Kenya. This country, which is going as far as washing its dirty linen on the public stage at international airports. And so, please understand me when I laugh about it and make jokes about it and emphasize the comedy of the moment last night. And of course, the highlight was the confrontation between Miguna Miguna and retired Colonel Oguna, who is the government spokesman. Now, according to Colonel Oguna, the main reason why Miguna, those names rhyme, the main reason why Miguna cannot get into the country is because he was unruly in 2018 when he was being deported out of his own motherland. And so Colonel Oguna is asked, what should Miguna do to get back into the country? And Colonel Oguna promptly replies, he should walk into any Kenyan embassy, even the Canadian one, and get a Kenyan passport. And, note this very carefully, also get a visa. And you'll have no problem coming back to Kenya. Now, hold on a minute. Will giving Miguna a passport and a visa suddenly make him not unruly? That one, he did not answer. And Miguna could be seen laughing loudly. Never mind that if you have a Kenyan passport, you don't need a visa to enter Kenya. And of course, what the good Colonel is telling us is that when Miguna was kidnapped from his own house, and held in police cells before being deported, and when he tried to re-enter the country and was marooned at the airport for hours, when they attempted to finally force him back onto an aircraft to deport him a second time, he should have gone quietly. Actually, who was more unruly? The goons who were pushing and shoving him and trying to carry him and force him onto the plane? Or Miguna? You tell me. And then Miguna himself, brought up something that was quite interesting. He referred to the case of Jamal Khashoggi, who on the 2nd of October 2018, this is Saudi national who was residing in the US. On the 2nd of October 2018, you'll remember, he went to the Saudi consulate in Istanbul, Turkey, and he was never seen again. And of course, he was murdered inside the Saudi consulate. And it's believed those people murdered him was sent by the state, Saudi Arabia, because this guy was a thorn in the flesh of the Saudi regime. And so according to Miguna, he said he is not stupid enough to walk into any Kenyan embassy. Because the same thing that happened to Khashoggi, poor Khashoggi, will happen to him. Now, this does not sound very far-fetched. Maybe if this Khashoggi thing had not happened, it would have sounded very far-fetched. But since it happened, and we know how the Kenyan authorities have been behaving towards Miguna, it is not too difficult to imagine a situation where he walks into a consulate of Kenya, anywhere in the world, and then we hear, this man walked out and we don't know where he is. Indeed, the way the government is behaving over this Miguna issue, that is not far-fetched, unfortunately. And so the Miguna drama continues. And I'm afraid the comedy also continues. Because Miguna's motherland is Kenya. Let's leave out his behavior, let's leave out his character. This is a human being. And this is a gross violation of human rights, whichever way you want to look at it. The law is not selective. That because you're not of good behavior and somebody tried to murder you, they're not guilty. Because anyway, your behavior is bad. I've never heard of such a law. But of course, Kenyans are just Kenyans. And their views sometimes are just mind-boggling. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha. You are about to discover one of the most important secrets that you will ever come across when it comes to surviving and thriving during the hard times that we're currently going through. And I can summarize it in 2 words. Think backwards. When you want to start a business or a money-making project, think backwards. And I assure you, success will come much more quickly. And by the way, I'm talking from practical experience, not theories read from some book. And I will come back to that in a minute. When you're thinking of landing that job when there are no jobs in the market, think backwards. And I assure you, even if you don't have the papers or the qualifications, you'll get the job. I've done it myself. And let's start with an example from business. And the example I will give is a business you all know very well. And in those days, it was not the big successful company it is today. The Safaricom company was recovering from the disaster that was the Simu ya Jamii project. When you launch a project that loses a company money instead of making money for it, everybody's cautious. When you bring up a new idea, people cannot stop thinking about the last idea that failed. Now in those days, there was a lot of hijacking of buses along the Nairobi-Mombasa road. Hijackers knew that traders frequented the route and they always carried huge sums of money to go and buy products and goods. And most of these traders traveled at night. Safaricom approached some of these traders with an idea to solve their problem. It was a new and confusing idea, but some were willing to try it. The idea was, give Safaricom company your money in Mombasa before you travel. You will get an acknowledgement in your phone Travel to Nairobi by bus without any money in your pocket or without any substantial amounts of money in your pocket. And when you arrive in Nairobi, go to a big Safaricom dealer and show them the message on your phone. And they will give you your cash. You buy your products, travel back to Mombasa. It worked. And it was foolproof, because even if somebody stole your phone, when you arrived in Nairobi, you replaced your SIM card and you're able to retrieve your message, showing the money you deposited with Safaricom. That was the birth of the most lucrative and profitable idea ever in the history of business in Africa. I am of course talking about the M-Pesa services. Safaricom did not launch the service with outlets and advertising, etc., etc. Instead, they thought backwards. They started with the customer. They started with the transaction. In these hard times, don't waste your valuable resources setting up a company, advertising, employing staff, etc., etc. Instead, think backwards. Start with the customer and start with the transaction. If you want a job and you're looking for a job, a good job, start thinking of how the company you want to work for will benefit from something that you can give them or something you can do for them. Do your research and confirm that that company actually needs what you have to offer. And find a way to do that thing for that company, a demonstration of sorts. Either by doing a transaction, if you're a sales and marketing person, or by working as a volunteer without pay to prove the value of your idea and the value of what you have to offer. Folks, always think backwards. It will change your life. Now, I've produced a documentary titled How to Prosper in a Gloomy Economy. Not only does it give you practical real-life examples on how you can think backwards on your way to success, but it also gives you plenty of other brilliant ideas to prosper when things are as tough as they are right now. And always remember that it's a proven fact. People make more serious money when the economy is in trouble, not when it is booming. There are many more opportunities when things are not going right. Problems are actually opportunities. And the more the problems, the more the opportunities. My amazing documentary is in 3 parts, part 1, part 2, and part 3. And it has already helped very many people, some of whom had already given up. It costs only 5,400 Kenya shillings or $54. But I am so confident that it will change your life that I am giving away part 1 of this 3-part documentary free. Because I'm super confident after you have gone through part 1, you will want the whole documentary. So all you have to do is look in the description area of this video. You'll find a link. Click on it and you'll be able to get part 1 of my amazing documentary free. Enjoy it, get some very useful game-changing tips, and then come back to the same description area of this video and get details of how you can order the entire 3-part documentary and how to make your payment. But even if you don't order my entire documentary, I will have no problem with you. It is okay, or as the young people say, it is cool. It is already crystal clear that the year 2020 is going to be a very difficult year. So don't waste any time. Go to the description area of this video and grab part 1 of my amazing documentary, How to Prosper in a Gloomy Economy. All the best and power to you.